So in last week's video, I talked about my garden plan for this season, focusing on customers and crops generally. And I noticed that I talked about 4 potential customers, and then later in the video was talking about, oh, selling to a restaurant, blah, 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 and hadn't even mentioned restaurants as a potential customer. So that would be, customers would be myself, a retail store, community market, possible online direct sales with other farmers, and restaurants. And then I talk generally about crops, but in this video today, I'd like to look at how I'm going to lay out my beds, what specifically I'm going to plant in them, and I will have narrowed down what I want for this season. While I was doing that, I was kind of making a list of some of the materials and tools that I would need, and I will cover that in a later video. Along with, I also thought I really need to focus in on the greenhouse and talk specifically about that in a later video as well. So here we go, talking about crops today. This is my garden plan for 2019. I did it on graph paper. In the future, I'd love to do it on a computer because then I kind of just can move things around and it to be a little bit more organized. So it looks a little bit complicated simply because I'm having to deal with a lot of things in flux. If you haven't seen my video about making a site plan, it would be helpful to take a look at that first, because then it will give you a little bit better feel for the layout of what's going on here. But let's just kind of take a look at this, get an overview here. So this is the main road. The driveway comes up right along here, up to the house in that direction. This is the hugelkultur that I am going to be prepping for a berry patch. This is the gravel rock spur that goes out to the greenhouse where it is situated right now. And this was the garden that I had in 2018, about 50 feet by 20 feet. And this is the set of compost bins that I have here. So let's take a real quick jaunt around the market garden site back in December when the fence was still up around the garden. Now, one of the things you'll see is that in my garden plan, I have the greenhouse oriented this direction, because what I'm hoping to do is be able to kind of turn it that direction, because when you look at the site plan, I want all the greenhouses oriented this direction. So let's take a look at this thing in sections. Just an overview at first. This section right here is the area of the rock and gravel that is going to be spread out and then soil put onto it. That's going to happen in the spring sometime. This greenhouse can stay here because they can just work around that. It's going to sit right on the gravel and they can work around that. This whole section right here is the original garden bed that I had in 2018. I figure I'm going to leave this row right here available because they're going to be kind of fiddling around here with the equipment, so I don't want to even try and plant something and then have it kind of wrecked. So I'm just going to use these first 4 beds here. And the reason I have this section here is because this gets light earlier in the spring, and this area right here is kind of still shaded by trees and some other brush around here, and so doesn't get as much light. So what I was thinking is starting out by just tarping this, and then, you know, being able to control weeds in that way as well, and then start by planting this section right here. What I have here is, first of all, sugar snap peas. So it sounds kind of silly, but I have in the past transplanted sugar snap peas. So I grow them in little, you know, in containers, and then plant them out. The problem is that you can't easily like do 1-inch spacing with the peas when they're in these little start containers. And so it's more realistic that I'll have like maybe every 3 inches I'll have a sugar snap pea. And I wanted to do 1 row here, and then another row right here in the front. And I don't know how much they're going to shade the other beds, so that will be interesting to find out. And then what I wanted to do here was do carrots and radishes. I don't sell as many radishes as carrots. This is just from my experience at the store, how many I was selling. And so I want a little bit more carrots than radishes. And then I was going to try a couple different varieties of carrots and a couple different varieties of radishes to see what does best in my climate. And then also direct seed some spinach and try some different varieties of spinach. And so let's see then. Yeah, and then once these come out of the ground, then I can plant some other things like maybe some more spinach or lettuce in this section if I have time still to do that after that happens. Hey, so I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and it is sunny and I don't know, like 60 degrees or something. I've got my short sleeve shirt on, my flip-flops. For sugar snap peas, I was able to trial a number of different varieties in 2018, and what I ended up finding was good was the super sugar snap pea and the sugar Ann. The super sugar snap pea is like a 5-foot tall vine, whereas the sugar Ann is more of a dwarf size. So carrots, I want to try the Mokum and Yaya variety. They're both kind of a smaller size carrot, so I'm hoping they get done more quickly and I can pull them out of the ground. What I was looking for was a number of different things. I wanted a Nantes style carrot. I think that's how you say that. And also just a plain old orange carrot. What I noticed at the store is that customers weren't interested in getting a yellow or a purple carrot. They just wanted a plain orange carrot, and they preferred the snub-nosed style carrot over like a long skinny style carrot. And so I'm just gonna go with what sold best. I was thinking about planting the carrots, the spacing pretty close, and then thinning them out and selling the baby carrots first, and then letting the others mature and then bunching those. I also was planning on bunching them, not, you know, breaking off the tops and bagging them or anything. I wanted to just rubber band them and sell them in bunches. And so I'm looking for a carrot that has a real strong top and a nice top. And then also I wanted to try to overwinter some carrots, and so in that case I want a good storage carrot. So I wanted to try Giants of Colmar and Nectar varieties, because the seed catalog just said they were good storage carrots, so I thought I would try those. I was also looking for carrots that were pelleted, because I'm not going to buy a seeder this year, and I wanted to you know, direct seed and make it a little bit easier on myself. Radishes, I wanted to try the Cherry Belle, Roxanne, and Celesta varieties. These are all just plain round red, smaller size radishes. For spinach, I wanted to try the Escalade, Lakeside, and Corvair varieties. What I was looking for is something that grows to a baby green size quickly, and something that has an upright habit. Also, hopefully something that doesn't bolt as easily. and something that is also cold tolerant. At the store, I could sell a lot of baby spinach just by itself, but it's also really great in a mix. I was thinking my mix would be um, red leaf lettuce, frisee, and spinach, and at some point adding some arugula in. So then in this section that I had tarped, I can pull the tarp off when it gets a little bit more light and everything. And I would have transplants going already for lettuce. And so put the transplants in. Also same thing with frisee, direct seed arugula, cilantro, parsley, dill would all be transplanted, and then green onions also transplanted. I've grown leeks before and transplanted those out, but I've actually never tried green onions, so this will be new for me. Frisee, I really want in a salad mix, but I don't know, when you cut it, how does it grow? What pests might get at it. When you cut it, does it kind of decay quickly? Does it turn red? I just want to try it because I would love to have it in a salad mix, and so I want to try it. Arugula, I don't. When I had my store, I didn't sell a ton of arugula, but boy, there were some people that just really wanted it. It really doesn't ship very well. It's so delicate, and it would also be a great thing in salad mix too, for a spicy salad mix type thing. Cilantro, I sell more cilantro than parsley, so I wanted kind of a double thing of, a little bit bigger size, a patch of cilantro. I may have to do a couple of transplants because even though I've gotten varieties that are not supposed to bolt, they've always bolted to seed. And so maybe I'll have to put some in and then later on transplant some more. Dill is the same thing. It tends to bolt to seed, and so getting one transplant out and then another set later on. Parsley, I've never had problems there with that, and I might try a flat leaf and a curly leaf parsley. Green onions also, I probably don't want like just a crap ton of green onions already at once, so I was going to do a section here and maybe a section later. And I have no idea about quantities for green onions. With lettuce, I want something that when I cut it, the leaf is configured so that it's a small enough size to go into a salad mix. A lot of folks use Salanova, so I was looking for a red Salanova. And also I was going to try new red fire. I probably should actually try a couple of different varieties of lettuce to see how they do. So I may add some other varieties to that mix. I want the lettuce to be the color in the salad because the frisee and the spinach are both green. What I noticed in some salad mixes, there'd be like one particular green that would go more quickly than the rest, and then it would get kind of gooey and ruin the whole salad mix. So I want something that will hold up well along with the other greens in a salad mix. So for arugula, I want to plant a wild variety of arugula because it has more of a spicy flavor. The people at the store who bought arugula were looking for something spicy flavor. They really didn't like the mild flavored arugula. And so that's what I'm going to focus on. There are a number of the things that I'm growing. There's just like one variety available. So for example, there's just a couple of varieties of green onions. And frisee, there's only one variety. Dill, there's only one variety. Parsley, there's just a flat leaf and a curly. There are a number of different cilantro varieties, and I think I might try them all because I want to try and get something that doesn't bolt quickly and that transplants well, and it does well in maybe cooler weather. When this section here opens up after in the spring when they spread out their gravel, put the soil down, we've got some compost going. I wanted to put another thing of spinach in, another transplant some more red leaf lettuce, and then do a couple more rows of carrots. I could probably just sell all the carrots I grow. And then, continue to sell some radishes. The reason this looks all kind of goofy here is because I want to do some standard, eventually maybe standard 50-foot beds. And so I cut these down into two 25-foot beds. And then this length here is also 20 feet, all of these. So then I had this, I'll explain this little section here in just a bit. So yeah, so do a few radishes, trials, a little patch of celery, and just do a little teeny patch of potatoes. And then I eat a lot of kale. Is my main green that I eat besides dandelion greens, which I found a few wild growing patches that I can dig into, so I'm not going to grow dandelions in my own garden. And then this would be the second succession of sugar snap peas. And these I can direct seed at 1 inch spacing, and then do the same varieties, super sugar snap and sugar ann on this one too. Okay, so yeah, let me explain this crazy thing right here. I was watching a video that had Elliot Coleman speaking, and he was talking about greenhouses in this one section, and then he said, you know, he had this greenhouse that they would actually just lift up and move over to another crop. And I've been thinking, that would be so cool if I had a whole row of greenhouses. So what happens is, you know, I've got, you know, kind of hot weather crops in here. By the time they're just done, it's about time to kind of get the greenhouse over, and I could put it on these other ones where it's getting colder and get them ready for winter. And wouldn't that be cool if I had a whole row of those things, rather than having to put up a caterpillar tunnel or poly low tunnels that I don't know what, you know, if they're going to hold up to the snow and that sort of thing. I may find that this really just doesn't work, but I just wanted to try it. So what I did was I had this section right here planted in kale and carrots, because that's what I would really want to try to overwinter, primarily for myself, so that I have greens at least through part of the winter. And Tyler likes carrots a lot, so you know, get some of those going for ourselves. But also it could be a potential thing where in the future I did kind of a season extension sort of deal for reselling. But yeah, so I just like to try this. And there's that fellow, what's his name, Crickmore, of Neversink Farm, and he had said that in their off season they do Siberian kale, because it grows the best during the wintertime. And you know, I've tried growing Siberian kale before, but it kind of was like bitter tasting. I didn't like the flavor, so I kind of just discarded that as a kale variety that I would try in the future. But you know, now I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it probably is a little bit sweeter in the wintertime, and if it grows quite a bit better in that in those temperatures, that would be the thing to do. So that, and then also get a variety of carrot that might overwinter a little bit better. I'm going to plant an Italian kale um, that did well last year. And then the red kale that I picked also did great last season. And then this year, I'm going to try that Siberian kale to see how it does for overwintering. Potatoes, I would just want to grow for myself. I want like just a good storage potato. Was looking at the German butterball because it says it's a good storage potato, and also what I found was it was one of the non-fingerling potatoes that I would sell at the store that people really liked, and so it would be just nice, even though I'm growing it for myself, to have something that potentially, if I had extra, that it would be something attractive to customers. Celery, there's only one variety, so I'm just going to plant that. You know, in the past I've bought seed from a number of different companies, but I think I'm going to mostly try and just get the stuff that's available from Territorial Seed Company, just to make it easy on myself, just to make things simpler. So yeah, that is my plan for now. Eventually I would like to have things much more standardized, and just not this real goofy, convoluted plan, but I really am just having to kind of work around the situation and what I have going on right now.